Hi, I'm Robbie Stevenson. This is Mental Health. Today, I'm going to bring you a tasty treat. This band was really hard to find. For the longest time, I didn't even think it existed. Today, I bring you Killitorous. Well, Aaron, the guitarist from Killitorous. Killitorous is a Canadian technical death metal band. They just released their second album in May. It's called The After Party. So I don't think I'm invited. But, yeah, pretty cool.
Well, the CD release hasn't happened yet because of the COVID thing, so you technically are still there's a chance to get an invitation still.
Awesome. I'll wait and I hope it comes in the mail. Cool. Yeah. Killitorous has an element of comedy in the band. So did Strapping Young Lad and the other band you're in, Annihilator. Well, I mean, it has a song about craft dinner, and I find that hilarious. Why do you think Canadian bands are so funny?
Well, I think that there's a lot of Canadian bands that are funny and that some are a little more serious, but the ones that are funny, maybe it has to do with our light-spirited sense of humor in Canada. We are really like the Terrence and Phillip from South Park that they claim that we are. We were kind of like that, so I guess maybe that's has to do with it.
That makes sense. Yeah. Cool.
Well, everything I always talk about seems to revert back to cartoons, and so that's where all my life lessons come from.
Well, there's some pretty good cartoons out there. You probably know a lot. All right. Okay, I'll keep going then. You have 3 guitarists in the band for this new album. What's that like? And do you think you'll have 4 guitarists for the next album?
Well, technically on this album, there is 4 guitars going the whole time, because to make it sound like in stereo properly, you can't have anything run down the middle, because even if it's like one guitar track and it's on both sides, it still sounds the same. So it sounds like it's coming down the middle. So to make the guitars sound like they're on the outside, I had to record 2 of my parts, and then Nick and Mark are each on their separate sides as well. So there's actually 4 guitars going for the entire album, which is like double tracking, which took forever. Part of the reason why it took 6 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's really cool, though. That's a lot of guitars.
So there will never be four guitars, because that means I'll probably have to record, no, it might, maybe we could do 4 guitars, because it would be no more work than what we already have to do.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Aaron, how did you get into Annihilator? That band is like the Canadian thrash royalty.
Well, it was, I had left Vital Remains, and I got an email from Jeff, and there was a fellow that was helping me at the time try to find a new gig, like a manager kind of thing. And he called me and said, you're going to get a message from Jeff because I recommended you for this job or whatever, because he was asking me. And, I think that that's probably the best gig I'm going to be able to find you. So that was the fastest relationship I ever had with the manager. He's like, there's nothing more I can do for you. Now you got the gig, call me if you leave the band kind of thing, So that was 6 years ago now. So, time flies.
That's
it was
cool.
really quite easy, actually. I had an awesome manager.
That's great. Annihilator, that's basically out of the Ottawa area anyways, right? Or am I wrong?
Well, it was when I joined, but I was living in Montreal at the time. So
Okay.
I was living in Montreal when I got in contact with Jeff and with the Annihilator guys. And he was based out of Ottawa, and now he's living in the United Kingdom.
Okay.
And we got another member, our bass player, Rich, lives in the UK, and we have our drummer in Italy. So it's like I'm really the only guy left in Canada.
Okay, I see. These frames on this side here, they open up and you can put different records inside. They're actually based out of the UK. That's artvinyl.com. Okay, sorry.
That's sick.
Yeah, I switched
I'll have to get
every
one.
interview. Pardon me?
That's sick. That's sick.
Yeah. I really like them. Okay.
Everyone loves a good vinyl. They're trendy now again. Vinyl's
yeah, they're
popular
coming
again.
back in a big way. They've really helped
Oh
me
yeah.
with my drug addiction because whenever I'm like really itching to get drugs, I just buy vinyl instead. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, and just go rock out to some tunes. That's a good way
Yeah,
to do it, man.
yeah, and it also when I get the feeling like, oh, I gotta go get something. It's a lot easier to get vinyl than drugs. Well, maybe not easier, but
Yeah.
at least I get to hold on to the vinyl and I get to keep it, and it's not just gone and like
Forever, and it
yeah.
doesn't kill you.
What?
Well,
Unless
the
someone
vinyl won't
kills me to
kill
get to
you.
my vinyl.
Maybe.
Yeah.
That's about it. That's the biggest danger. Maybe if you get like an original Emperor or like Burzum album, someone will go nuts and try to kill you for it. But that's about it.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how you mentioned murder from the black metal community because it happens there.
Well, it seems to be what one of the heart of the scene right there.
Yeah. The last interview. No. Okay. All right. When this comes out, it'll be 2 weeks ago. The interview was with King, the bassist that was in Gorgoroth.
Oh, the King of Hell.
Yeah, King of Hell. Pretty cool. So that was the first black metal
Yeah.
artist that I got to interview on this show.
I did a tour with Gorgoroth when I was younger in 2014 or 13. Yeah.
That's cool.
That was pretty cool. It was surreal to tour with like one of these bands. It's on like basically like the black metal bad boy list.
Yeah. They're still not allowed in
Yeah,
Poland,
cool.
as far as I know. But yeah, awesome.
They're not a lot of places because their guitar player is a convicted criminal, right? So they
Yeah,
can only really play in Europe and in parts of Asia, I think, or
yeah,
South America, not Asia. I think South America. It's South America. So they're like restricted based off of some criminal involvement with the man in the band Infernus or Roger or whatever.
yeah.
Man, we're
That's
veering
true.
right off topic. We're talking about black metal.
All right. While I was talking, what was your favorite concert you've been to that you didn't have to play in? It's a tough one, probably. I know.
Well, when I was a kid, I got to go to some really cool concerts when I was in either Montreal or Toronto. I would go to these places to go see concerts, and the concerts were a little bit cooler back then because their venues were a little nicer. Like in Montreal and in Toronto, there was a lot more.
Toronto, I always
There
loved
was
going to the
bigger
Cool
venues that were
House.
nicer.
Do you remember going to the Cool House?
Yeah, I always liked. Yeah, I used to go to the Cathedral to go see concerts in the Reverb.
Okay,
And
I always had to drive 2 hours, so I was making sure they were bigger bands that I knew of. But yeah.
But yeah, Cool House was sick too. I miss those old days of going to those big concerts. I think more than the actual concert that I can remember is like going to nice venues. But I can't remember the venue it was at. It was in Montreal, and it was As I Lay Dying, Killswitch Engage, and In Flames. It was a really cool
That's a good
tour.
show.
And it was like in the heyday of when all those bands were like basically just like going right up and kind of taking over the scene. And I'm trying to remember. It was at the Medley in Quebec, in Montreal. Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Well, I'm sorry we cut out there because my wife's downloading a new update for The Sims. The
Ooh.
computer game where you can emulate people's lives and create characters and cause all kinds of chaos, playing fifth business in digital people's lives.
Do
Yeah.
you ever get them to go into the pool and then you take the ladder out so they can't get out?
I always like to make the house of clowns. So you make a room covered with clown stuff everywhere, and then you remove and you you throw a party, of course, and you invite all these people and you put them all in that room or coax them into the room, right? Then you take all the doors and windows out and just watch them urinate themselves and mental torture to death, right?
Oh
But
wow, that's good too. That's good.
then they start haunting you if you do stuff like that in the new games, anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I haven't played that in a long time. Like, yeah, I lost the attention
I'll have
span
to
to
take
play
them back.
video games and everything after I went through psychosis with my schizophrenia. In my head, I just always boil every game that I play down to why am I pressing these buttons?
You know, it's really funny that you talk about the psychosis into the schizophrenia because my closest friend from childhood and from my teenage years uh, got diagnosed with psychosis and then mild schizophrenia or something. They're not quite sure. You know, they're actually still like constantly testing his medication. But he was one of the guys who came up with a lot of the theory, like the lyrical content for our new album. Actually, like a lot of the crazy ranting jokes and stuff
Cool.
are his jokes, you know, and we put them kind of in there as like an ode to him, you know.
That's great. Yeah.
The funniest guy I know, and he's completely out of his mind. So
Yeah. Meds are a good thing. I take mine most of the time. Yeah.
well, the problem is there's like, you know, there's ups and downs with that stuff. You know, some of these meds make you feel really sick. So for him, you know, he has like a hard time staying awake. For example, the
Yeah.
meds make him really
The
drowsy.
antipsychotics really do that. Okay. For me, like, I was fat when I was a kid, and then I I lost all the weight naturally, going to the gym, eating well, and then I went through psychosis, got schizophrenia. The meds made me gain 75 pounds. Like all that work never happened, and I was tired all the time. So then that's
Yeah.
why I really went hard into to the uppers. We started off with coke and then meth, and yeah, and then I got skinny from that. So, but it was not worth it whatsoever. Like most of my nose is
It's
gone
not that
now.
good kind of skinny.
Not the good kind of skinny, no. I got some hilarious
No.
pictures, but yeah. And then now that I'm off the drugs and everything, I've gained all the weight back, so I got to lose it again, and it's a roller coaster, but I'm on it.
Yeah, well, you know, as long as you're staying healthy, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's talk about
That's it.
metal again.
Yeah, I know. I keep veering off topic, but that's sorry, a bit of my nature.
It's okay. Um, it's mental health, not just metal, so it all works out. Um, when you're touring with Annihilator, are you in a bus or a van?
Usually in a bus. It depends on if we're going to like festivals and stuff. There's sometimes like shuttle vans between flights and stuff. But we always tour in a bus. You know,
That's cool. Like,
I think it's been that way since the '80s.
I'm just thinking, it must be weird touring in a bus one tour, and then you're back with Clitoris, and you're in a van. You're just like, oh, where's my bus?
Yeah, well, you know, it's kind of weird. You know, after a couple of Annihilator tours, I'm kind of like I get an itch to be in in a van situation. But then when I'm in the van situation, I'm like, oh, I really wish I was back on the bus. So it's like you never know. You know, and sometimes some tours might be more fun and you know with your buddies, and some tours are more fun. You know, having that ability to go and take a nap whenever you need to, or you know, clean yourself or whatever. It depends. It all depends on the tour.
Cool.
You know.
With Clitoris, you've gone all across Canada. That's right. You did
Yeah,
nation.
we've. I don't think there's a place we haven't played in Canada other than like the Northwest Territories and Nunavut.
Awesome.
So,
Do you have any awesome stories you want to tell from that tour?
well, there's so many tours that and so many different lineups and so many stories. But I think that the one of the coolest there's on the last tour we went all the way to the West Coast, right? And we went to the islands on the West Coast, which is something we'd never done before. Like this is kind of a weird thing. And you know, we're taking like ferries and stuff, and it really in a way feels kind of like Europe when you get into that kind of situation where you're having to take ferries and stuff, and things are a little bit more complicated going in between from place to place, but not as far, you know. The drives aren't like crazy distances. So I think that the coolest thing for me was, or like the best story is when, you know, I'm just dying because I'm doing some of the driving and I'm sitting in a ferry and all the guys come and start shaking me and they're like, you know, basically probably still drunk from the night before because we had to get up super early to do this ferry. So they're just like, and I'm just like trying to get some rest because I know I have to do some driving to get to the next gig. And my little cousin was with us on the tour doing the teching, and we're both sleeping, and they come and start shaking us and say, "Man, there's whales out there," you know, and that's something that they just like have never seen, you know. So there's like orcas just in the water, and it's just like you're in a different planet. That's like the sensor-wise the best story, you know. There's some crazy party stories too that are just like unbelievable, like you never believe. Like we were on tour once, we drove past a car that was on fire and there was a guy running around with a jerry can screaming, you know, like there, and we're pretty sure there was people in the car burning, you know, and there's nothing you can do because the guy's going nuts in the street. Like there's some stories that, you know, you can remember, but in my mind, I think those are the two craziest ones. But there's so many, like, to pick those two, those are just the first ones that come to mind of a mountain shitload of just crazy stories.
That's really cool. I'm real proud of you for that. You know, being able to do like what you love, and you're touring all over the place, all over Europe with Annihilator. That's pretty awesome. Um, is there anything you want to plug or give a shout out to before we finish off here?
Check out the new albums that we released, you know, Annihilator and Killitorous this year if you get a chance to. We got Ballistic Sadistic from Annihilator, and we've got the After Party from Killitorous, and those are, you know, two albums that I'm, you know, really happy to have been a part of and super proud of. So check them out and come and see us live when you can come and see us live. And
Yeah.
you too, you said you want to come to our party. Well, you're invited too. You can stay sober. It might be a little hard, but I'm sure you might have a teammate or two with you there.
I do stand-up comedy, so I'm around pot and booze all the time. As long as no one's busting up lines of meth in front of me, I should be okay.
Well, that's sick. You know, no meth. Rule, no meth.
That should be
It's a pretty
a
easy
bigger
one for
rule
us.
for a lot more people. Me included.
Well, I'm sure you'll be okay at one of our parties in that way.
All right, good. All right, Aaron, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much for
You
being
too,
on
man.
Mental Health.
Well, till next time. See you later.
Hello, fans of Mental Health. Just a little promo. If you'd like to get a cool frame like this that opens up, I'll show you in a second here with some editing wonders. Go to artvinyl.com. I'll have a link in the video description. They're really cool. Check this out. Whoa, that was cool. You can exchange different records in there.